Welcome everybody to Positive Mischief. I'm Matt Guastafaro, and we have Lucas Aragon from ABC with us today. But I'm your host, and I'm also the Chief Mischief Maker of Hugo Creative. On this show, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to creatives, and we're going to see how they think on the fly. I've known Lucas for a long time. He was my first ever boss, and I was his first ever intern. So we've got some history here that I'm pretty excited about. We go way back. We're old now. And so Lucas is at ABC, but we're going to talk about his day job like this much. After that, we don't care. So we're going to jump right into this. And Lucas, let me get your title right. Executive Director of Branding and Design at ABC. Is that
correct?
Right?
That's correct.
So fancy. So first question for you is, I've got a 5-year-old daughter. If you were to explain your job to her, how would you do that?
Okay, so I would tell her that when she's watching television or if she's on the computer, maybe looking at social media, she sees some graphics or something that tells her about a show to watch, that's what we do. We create those graphics and visuals and sort of like little mini promos or commercials to get you to watch a television show.
She would absolutely get that. That's Paw Patrol. And it's funny, every time that comes on and it goes to the break, she wants me to fast forward. Fast forward. Like it's a commercial. I don't always get to skip them, honey. Yep. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so we started at the top of this. The show's called Positive Mischief. And I think as we get older, we sort of become too serious. We forget what it's like to be playful. We forget what it's like to laugh and have a good time. And I think that spills over into work, and work becomes serious. It's a job, and I have to make money and all that kind of stuff. One of the things that I will never forget about from working with you is have fun with what you're doing. Don't be afraid to, take the whoopee cushion out and see what happens. So with that being the goal of this, like the term positive mischief, like what does that look like for you? Like, how does that look like to be sort of this like happy, mischievous person at work?
I mean, I think for me, it's just my personality. I like to have fun, and I really enjoy people's company. Like during the pandemic, I had a really hard time, like not being able to interact with people. Cause I really like feed off the energy of people, and I like, entertaining people. Like we love to have, guests. We always have someone in our house visiting us. We love to entertain. We love to, host people and make them like fabulous meals and really, like create experiences for people, whether it's like family, taking them on a vacation. Like I always tell my nephews and nieces, like, instead of buying like a gift or a car or something materialistic, like buy a vacation, because you'll always remember that vacation. You'll always remember going to Greece or going to Japan or something. You might not always remember like the boombox you bought or the 10 CDs you bought when you were a kid. But you'll always remember experiences, and that might be going to see a Broadway show in New York or seeing Cirque du Soleil in Vegas. So I like to do that for people. I like to create experiences. And I think that also, falls over into the workplace. I mean, although right now, we're working from home, so it's not quite the same. But when we were in the office, just creating that fun atmosphere, because I think that leads to better creativity, and it also allows people the chance to fail and to try different things. So I think that's kind of it, sort of in a nutshell.
It's pretty spot on. So you mentioned something about, it was two things, CDs. What do you do with old CDs?
I have mine all in a box. I can't bring myself to throw them away. I do make sure that I have them like a digital like version of them. There's some that are kind of like, you just can't find on iTunes or anything. They're sort of like rare. So those I'm just going to hang on to. But yeah, unfortunately, they're just like in a box or a drawer somewhere.
No, I've got the same thing here. Yeah.
Can you hold 1 second? I have to let my dog in. He's knocking at my door.
Cosmo.
Come on, Ross, come on. He comes and knocks at the door when he wants to come in. Say hi.
Hey, Cosmo. Look at you getting old and gray now.
He's hysterical. Because I have my office in the casita, so he comes and knocks like on the door.
The second question, you mentioned failure. What does that look like as somebody who manages people? watching them fail and then building them back up? What does that look like for you?
I mean, I think it's always good to remember that, like, you know, the example I always use, and again, going back to my nephews and niece, is like the iPhone was not created like just in one day or one prototype. Like, I'm sure it took like many iterations, lots of different failures in technology and just how all of it works. So I feel like creativity and creative is the same way. Like, you know, you design comps and you're kind of just trying different things, different angles, different like feel and tone of graphics and stuff. So if you don't allow yourself to fail, you'll never arrive at the success.
Yes.
So you have to kind of, you know, experiment and try different things and see what works and what kind of reactions people have to them. And I think you also just have to allow yourself to learn from those mistakes. Like, none of us are perfect. Nothing's ever going to go perfect.
Right.
So, you know, you kind of acknowledge it. You kind of try to figure out like, well, why did that fail? How do we miss the mark? And then how do you just like grow from it? So don't like dwell and, you know, cry in the corner, but try to like gain some knowledge from it so that you won't repeat that, you know, down the road. Yeah. And sometimes that might be the right solution for a different problem. So it might not have been the right solution for that particular project, but it might actually be the right, you know, solution for something else.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. We have a thing here, Hugo, that we talk about, know what to fall on your sword for. And I think that sort of ties into this whole idea of failure. I think we're too afraid to fail. We're too afraid to let something go that we put so much heart into. And I think it leads to a lot of the burnout that we see, especially in our industry in advertising. So like be able to, you know, let yourself fail, be okay with it, be okay with not having like your design make it through all the way to the end.
Right.
You will sleep better at night.
I think it's also important to have a creative outlet outside of work and not to have work be your creative outlet. Mm-hmm. So like, I love photography. I shoot photography. I love shooting portraits of people, places. Like, to me, that's sort of like my creativity outside of work. Yeah. But a lot of times those ideas will come into my work. And I feel like some of my team, like some of them shoot videos, some of them are illustrators, you know, so having those outside projects, you know, give yourself that creativity that doesn't have any restrictions like it does in the workplace, but it only makes you a better creative at work. So, but I always think it's important not to have work be your creative outlet, because you just won't be satisfied ever.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because that's kind of what started this right here that we're doing is there's a little bit of a work angle, but it's a lot of fun for me. And what I've found was let's start talking to the people that have influenced me in my life, and then people that I've gone through the industry with. And let's hear how they think. Let's hear why they do what they do, or like how their creative juices flow. So on that note, we have a little bit of I don't know if you can see a little bit of a gesture here.
Oh God.
Now, have you've been in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Do you know what this is?
Is it that thing you drink a hurricane out of, or what do they call it?
You drink what's called the jester out of it. And there's some stories behind it. They're not really stories that are going to be on this this video series because I don't want my mom to hear them. But sorry, Mom. She's like the only one watching anyway. So we're going to pull some questions out of the jester's hat.
Okay.
And we're going to ask you some random. Oh, okay. This is a good one. Now, before you answer this, I want you to write something down because I think I at least know one of the three artists who will be in the song. Okay. You get 3 songs for the rest of your life. What are they? I'm going to write down 3 artists here.
I have to pick the actual song?
You have to pick 3 songs for the rest of your life. What are they?
Okay. I'm going to pick Dua Lipa's Physical.
Okay.
Madonna's Express Yourself. And Lady Gaga's Marry the Night.
Awesome. So I wrote down, I don't know if we can see this. It's going to be out of
I can't see it.
I wrote down Madonna, Cher, Lady Gaga.
Oh, okay. You got 2 out of 3. Cher, I'm not that big of a Cher fan.
Okay. So that was great. So what is it about all 3 or one of those 3 that resonate so strongly with you that those would be the ones that would be for the rest of your life?
I think because they just make me want to dance. Like I literally like will put those like 3 artists on around and I'll dance around my pool like I'm in a nightclub somewhere.
Yes.
So like I guess that's the number one thing is it just makes me want to dance. I love the beat. I love to dance. I love music that makes me want to dance. And then also I think that their music, while it's still pop music, still has a message to it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard to like figure out that message. And the story I'll tell you is there was a Lady Gaga song that I was never really a fan of. It's called, Grigio Girls, like the wine. Pinot Grigio. And I just always thought it was like a dumb song. I'm like, what is this? Like, who cares? It's drunk girls drinking wine. Like, I don't get it. And it wasn't one of my favorite songs on that particular album. But then when I saw her in concert, she explained that a friend of hers was dying of cancer and going through chemo. So when her and her friends would go visit her, they would just try to be like happy and put on these bright smiles. And then after they left, they would all go drink wine and cry because it was very emotional. So that's why they were like the Pinot Grigio girls. So, not knowing the context of the song, I just kind of thought it was like, oh, just a bunch of girls drinking, getting drunk. Like, I don't care. But then once I knew the song, it made me like appreciate the song a lot more.
Different level.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of those songs on the surface, they sound like just kind of a silly pop song. But then when you hear the artists explain sort of the origins of the song, they actually have a lot more meaning than what we think. And there's another Lady Gaga song called The Edge of Glory. Okay. And the original version is like fast, and it has a dance beat. But she did it on Howard Stern and she sang it slow. And she explained that she wrote it about her grandfather when he died.
Oh, wow.
How you're on the edge of glory, like when you're going to transition from this life to the next or whatever. So I love the slow version so much better than the original pop version. But I kind of have this idea in my head that a lot of pop songs start out that way. And then some producer kind of gives them some like crazy dance beat. But I think that there's with those 3 particular artists, there's a little bit more to the song than just like a dance track. Right. So that's another reason why I like them.
That's awesome.
Now you have to go find that Howard Stern version of.
I know. Yeah. We're going to lead to it, I'm sure. All right. So let's see what else we have in here. Those were good. All right. And I can attest to the fact that, yes, Lucas does like to dance. As an intern, he danced in our office. He was the boss. It was great fun. Okay. I think I know the answer to this one. What is your opinion of Disneyland?
Disneyland. I mean, I love it. It's magical. It allows you, speaking to what you were speaking to earlier, it allows you to be a kid again, no matter how old you are. It's the original Disney park. I mean, everyone's like, oh, I love Orlando. And like, I've been to the park in Shanghai and Tokyo, which are both amazing parks, but there's something quaint about the original. Yeah. Even like it has the smallest castle and the streets are narrow. So I still love the fact that it's the original and it also is just so quaint and magical. And I love it.
Disneyland is one of my favorite places. It's just all those things that you said. All right, let's see. We got time for 1 or 2 more of these. Okay. Do you remember the way things were before the internet?
Yes. And I don't know how we survived. No, well, there's good and bad. There's like,
tell me about that.
Well, the thing that I hate now is that like our phones are constantly like dinging us. Yeah. So like you can't go through a meal without like a text or a work email so like you just never have like peace and quiet. Your phone's constantly like tapping at you. Yeah. But it also is crazy to me that like my mom would just let us go somewhere in high school, like sometimes overnight, and like have no way of reaching us. It's like, so that to me, that's also crazy. Is that like back then people were like, okay, see you in 2 days, and somehow it was okay. Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely like those are like the pros and the cons of that. That's why I like to go on vacation to really, really far places where there's like there's no Wi-Fi, or I'm just like I just turn off my phone. Yeah. Because I feel like you really don't get a true restful trip or vacation if you constantly have your phone just like bugging you nonstop.
I've even read a couple of things where folks are talking about leave your phone in the other room. Like when you go to have dinner, leave your phone in the bedroom and then go have dinner. And
I think we have this anxiety, like, what if like some important call or email comes through?
Yes.
Which I hate that feeling.
Yes. What if it's the biggest thing ever? Or what if it's like my dad passes or something awful? You're like, well, you know what? If that's the case, 30 minutes of dinner is not going to break, that thing. My mom has this saying that's no news is good news. So whenever I come back from a trip or something, if I don't, she's like, if I don't hear from you, I'm sure you made it back and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's something that I try really hard to keep in mind. It's like, I don't have to tell everybody that I'm home or everybody that I'm back or whatever it is that is the thing that we think we have to be doing to stay connected. It's like 30 minutes is going to be fine. And a day, oh my gosh, we'll survive,
Yeah. That's why I kind of like being in my swimming pool, because I can't have my phone in the pool. So I'll just like leave it like charging, or I'll leave it inside the house. Yeah. And it kind of just for like a little moment of time, I don't have my phone
right.
plugging me.
There you go, folks. Get a swimming pool and you will be connected.
And hide in it. Away from your phone.
Stay nice and pruny. Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll do one more, Lucas, and then we'll let you go because I promised 10 to 15 minutes and we're probably going to go a little long. All right, ready? Last one. Okay, this is kind of maybe a serious one, but who or what are you jealous of?
Ooh. My God, this is a tough one.
We won't judge too harshly.
I don't like to be jealous.
Ooh, I like that answer a lot.
Because I feel like it's not like a good, I don't know, quality or feeling to have. So I can't think of anyone that I'm like jealous of. I mean, I might be envious of someone if they have like a car that I like, or if they live somewhere like, I don't know, someone lives in Hawaii. I'm like, oh, I'm envious that they get to live in Hawaii or something like that. But I can't think of anyone that I'm jealous. I try not to be jealous of people.
That's a really deep answer. And I think it speaks a lot to sort of the whole self-love thing, being comfortable in your own skin. And I've known you a long time, and I can see that's pretty sure. Like Lucas is comfortable in his own skin. And I love that about you so much. So that's a good one to end on. We will do this. Is there anything that you want to plug? Social media? Do we want to stalk you? Although Lucas has some fun things on social media, guys. It kind of is worth stalking. So if you don't know him, become his friend and see if he'll accept you. Thank you very much, my friend. It was great.
Yeah, thank you. So much fun. It's a nice way to end the week.
That's right. Enjoy the weekend.